All right, the last thing I need to do with my logo here is just clean up this A, which is right now 2 layers on top of each other. And I want to erase the bumps behind it here. So I'm going to lock that layer, unlock the layer underneath, select it, use my eraser, just clean up that edge so that the other edge shows through. Now on the other side, the opposite. Actually, that side looks nice and clean now. So this works. I'm not sure I love this connection. So I might modify that still before I combine them. And the great thing about Illustrator is I can redraw paths. So I can just curve that one down and link it back in like that. See how that looks. Well, that's almost what I want. Got a little messy. Try it again. There we go. And then if I merge all of these together, because they're all just outlines now, the A and the airlines. First, let me, let me just select all of them. Take all these layers, hold down Command, select all 3, and then I'm going to use the Pathfinder, just merge them all as one vector shape. With no whites, just black on white. Then I can use tools like the Smooth tool and just really clean it up anywhere I think it needs it. And this is how you really finalize fonts. By creating outlines, turning them into pure vectors. In font design, the Smooth tool is even more useful than it is when doing line work, because you always are kind of going for elegance in font design. And the Smooth tool is a very safe tool to use. It won't ever overdo anything. It's just taking it to its most basic paths, reducing anchor points if possible. And you can always just Command Z and undo or redo different choices. But anything that looks a little clunky, just use the Smooth tool on. It probably doesn't need that many anchors. It's different than redrawing with the pencil, because it will always simplify. Now, professional fonts are already optimized in this way, the ones you pay for, the ones that come with your programs. But these self-designed fonts, they're designed in the way that I'm showing you, just modifying, playing with, tinkering. And so sometimes they need a little bit of this refinement to really be what you want to use. Like they'll have more anchor points than they need. I find especially when it comes to serifs, they can get kind of sloppy. So I like to clean them up with the smooth tool. All right. So that's Zelda Airlines. So when you're happy with it as a black and white, you save it. I'll save mine as my AI file, which has all of these layers that were turned off. Different attempts, different solutions. You know, still with the layers as type layers, so if I wanted to change spellings or use different characters, I still could. Now I'm going to take this, only turn on the ones I want on, and I'm going to save it as an EPS. And I'll call it my font solution, my black and white, or black on white font solution, as an EPS to the desktop. And that's where I hope we can get to today. Because now I can bring that onto my poster. All right, so you'll see it on the desktop, your EPS. Super clean, vector, black on white. So anything that's in the background will fill in all the white. That's nice and smooth. Everything works. Okay, now I open up that poster I'm working on. And you see how it's informed by this, but it's very much its own thing. And I'm going to drop that EPS onto my poster with my spot illustration, just like I put the line work on into Photoshop in order to color behind it earlier. Okay, so there was my sketch. Now let's bring the EPS on, drag it from the desktop so it comes in as a smart object. Scale it up. You can try it above and below. I think I actually like it below. So you don't want to make it too small. Let's see. But I can try it there, and then I can duplicate it and also try it above. And now we use all of our Photoshop skills. Hold down Shift, lock it in place. I can even try it overlapping the leaf if I want. So let's look at it. Now I kind of know what my poster will be, so I can crop it in a little bit. What are the different shapes? And do I like it above or below? These are the questions to ask. I think I like it below. Okay, so if this is my poster now, now I want to think about the coloring solutions for my text. And before I do that, I want to make sure I can turn in a nice version of my EPS black and white logo. So I'm also going to save this, my assignment 8 poster mockup, and then I'm going to go to File New, create a new Photoshop file, call it Carl Black White Font Design, assignment 8. I'm going to make it print worthy, so at least 10 inches wide by 8 inches tall at 350 pixels per inch. And I'm going to put it into an RGB mode, even though it's going to be not a color design. And now, just like I did before, I'm going to move the EPS in, stretch it to fill the space in a way that looks comfortable, as though I was we're going to print it for a graphic design portfolio. Have enough white space around it. And I'm going to save that. File save. First as a PSD, so it has the smart layer. And then file save as, this is just pure type design. Good for your portfolio, as a JPEG to put up to the class photo bucket. Okay, but now back to this. I have my black and white text design. I know where I want it placed. Now I want to think about colors, or if there's little things I don't like about it, like looking at it now, I don't like the S spacing. I don't like how that goes beyond the A. So I might even decide I need to fix some things back in Illustrator. So here it is as one full vector, so that makes it really easy to just select that S. You can even use a guide. And line it up a little bit better. So let me select around it, use the big move tool, hold down Shift, whoops, try that again. I'll just use the arrow keys and then just push it back so it's more comfortable there. Yes, that doesn't bother me anymore. All right, so now that's saved. And I'm going to save it both as the EPS and as the AI file, because it's got all of the different options in it. Then I'll bring it back in. So the attention to all these little details really matters. And for the most part, Photoshop wants to snap into place. But you can see the only thing that's different is the S placement. And I can use the arrow keys to kind of nudge it into place. So nudge it down a little bit. The more you zoom in, the more exact your placement can be. And you're just going by what looks best within the space. All right. So, in terms of color options, this is what I like to play with. I'm not even sure if that's the way I want my spot illustration to be finished. But I did certain things to my line work. I did color holds on it. So I'm going to go ahead and take that line work and duplicate it, Command J. And then take those effects and move them onto my logo type. You see? So those are the same effects I used on the line work for Link. And then I can simply have them turned on for both. That's why I made it as a duplicate. And that subliminally kind of ties them together, right? It's hard to see with the checkered background, so let me now give it a full black background. And a full gray background. And I'm going to need to save my work because we're talking about lots of resolution here and lots of different layers that we're still playing with.